My friend Sarah Renee Clark sent me volumes 3 and 4 of her new color cubes. Let's take a look at them. Hi, Shanna Rowe Jackson here from Caution Artist at Play, and today we are going to be playing with the new color cubes. I am so excited about this. As you know, I did a video on the originals way back when they first came out. My husband bought them for me as a gift. They're featured prominently in all my intros. I love them so much. I like to work with them in my sketchbook mostly, and it's just such a great tool. Well, Sarah Renee Clark has revamped them. This is one of her most popular items, and she is a perfectionist. So she was listening to people's feedback, she did some updates, and now we have a whole new set. There is volumes 1 and 2 have been revamped, 3 and 4. Look at this. Look at this black background. I chose these ones because they have less duplicates. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I basically just want to use this the same way I did in my first video to harken back to the memories. I am going to be coloring a coloring book page today. It's not something I do often on the channel, but it is a fun, relaxing way to get to know a new product. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna open this up. I'm gonna choose a color scheme, and I'll talk about some of the changes. I'm not gonna get too in-depth about the changes because there are a lot of other videos that are gonna explain it a lot better than I did. Sarah has done a lot with this update, and so I don't want to miss anything, so I will talk about my favorite features, but I will link some really comprehensive videos in the description below by Sarah Renee Clark, my friend Laws Antonino. She did a really great one, so any of the resources I will link below, including the FAQs for this bad boy, because that's really comprehensive as well. So I'm gonna open them up, we're gonna take a closer look, and we're gonna play in a coloring book. And yes, I'm aware I put that on backwards. I just fixed it. All right, let's just get down to it. Okay, so I have here the 2-pack. It comes in this nice black box. And again, these are volumes 3 and 4 of the second edition. Oh, look how shiny and beautiful they are. We're going to take them out of their box so we can take a closer look. Each one of them has a belly band on it so that they can be sold in store and you can tell which volume it is. And then let's look at them compared to the old volumes. Now, the old ones are made from a really nice strong cardboard. These new ones, though, are actually made from wood. Look how great these look all together. They are still the same size as the originals. They're just a little bit sturdier, though the originals are quite sturdy as well. Now that I have the wrapper off them, let's take this belly band off and take a look inside each one of them. They feel really, really nice. They're a little bit on the heavy side, and you can see all the cards nicely packed in there. Now let's take another look at the difference between these and originals real quick. The original box goes all the way up. They're packed in there pretty tight. It's hard to sift through them. And so she made the box a little bit lower so you can sift through them a lot more easily. And that's what that looks like. But they still stay in there really, really well. As you can tell, I have it laying on its side and the cards are not falling out. But there's still enough room in there to flip through if necessary. And then the other thing, the biggest change maybe, at least in my opinion, the one that I'm most excited about is she included some category cards. So that way there we can divide them up according to category. One of my favorite things about the original is that it felt like a big box of recipes, and this makes it feel even more so. There's also this yellow card in here that explains things a little bit, and this can be used as a placeholder. So let's take a look at this. Each color is matched to our database of the 500 plus most universally recognized color names. Color names aren't standardized, so it's best to use these as a reference only and not rely on them for specific color matching. It also includes hex codes. They can be used to find the closest matching colors online, and then of course it includes the tints and the shades on each of the cards of each of the colors. And she put these in a nice little box so that when they were shipping, they didn't get jostled around and the category little tabs didn't get damaged. And then in volume 4, it did the same thing. So I am going to get ready to categorize them, but let's take a look at these real quick. Each of the category cards has all the cards in the category, and then on the back side, it shows the cards with their card numbers so you can go in order, and each tab has a name on the front and the numbers included in that category on the back. And then, of course, each of the boxes has a number included. I like to put mine on the center square on the bottom of the box. That's what I did with my originals, so that they are labeled on the outside, but not in a place that it's really obvious. And now I have it all organized. They are so beautiful. It's like the most beautiful recipe box ever. And I say that as somebody who does not cook. So this is what they look like, all categorized. Oh, beautiful. So Volume 3 has breathtaking sunsets, coastal views, floral arrangements, interior design, majestic mountains, neon glow, sugar rush, retro flair, rainbows, fancy foods, and beautiful birds. I almost said fantasy foods. And then Volume 4 is Cakealicious, cyberpunk, fantasy, pastel tones, vintage vibes, into the woods, architecture, juicy fruits, bugs and butterflies, wedding bliss, and signature drinks. I'm really excited about Into the Woods. I'm excited about the bugs and butterflies. Let's take a look at the cards themselves. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are some duplicates that came over from the original volumes that she put out. And I want to kind of like take a look at the card that I used last time and compare it with the new version of that card, because she made changes to each of the cards as well. So while you may be getting some duplicates from the first volumes that she released from the first edition, they are going to be just slightly different. She decided to revamp things and make the color more accurate. So here we go. We're going to just take a look at these. I'm going to put that as a placeholder. Oh, I love that. So this is the original card, and I used this in my last one, and it's still very usable. A lot of people are worried about these cards being obsolete. They're not obsolete. You can still use your originals, but here is what the new updated version looks like. As you can tell, the color is more vibrant. It really, really pops. It's a little bit darker, and from what Sarah was saying, it's a little bit more accurate. She did a lot of work to make sure that the colors were more accurate. And there's things going on between conversions of RGB to CYMK. And there's a lot of sciencey things that I'm not really all that up on. So I will link her video. But I just thought it would be good to show you a visual comparison between an old card and a new card. So you can see it really does pop. And it's a little bit more accurate to the color. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the Vibrant Wilds coloring book. This is also by Sarah Renee Clark. She sent this to me a while back, and I usually keep this down in my living room and play around in it when I am watching TV. But today we are going to use one of these designs to play around with a card from the Color Cube. Now, I want to mention, Sarah Renee Clark did send me these things, but she's not paying me to do this review. And I have to say, I would have gotten these anyways because it was going on my Christmas wish list. It was definitely, I wanted volumes 3 and 4. So now I'm going to go through, I'm painting a tree, so I want to do something from Into the Woods. This is another category that I was super excited about from volumes 3 and 4. I'm pretty sure the card that I end up choosing is one that was also in the originals. I don't remember specifically though. But as you can see, it has the cards on one side, and then on the other side, it has them listed again with their number. So I like this card a lot. I'm going to look at the back side. That one's kind of cool too, but I really like this card. So I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at the number. It's 869. And then I can go back to my section and grab the card I want. Now, I am going to be using some water-based markers. I find water-based markers work really well on this paper. These are the Pitt Dual Artist pens. I'm not going to be exact about the colors. I decided instead of doing a bright orange, I want to go more brown. And so I kind of brought the orange out and got, I leaned a little bit more brown. Now, I gotta say, water-based markers don't blend as easily as alcohol-based markers, but at least they're not gonna show through on the other side. So this background, she's gonna be a little bit messy, but that's okay. I find ways to beef it up a bit in the future. Now let's talk a little bit more about this. Now, as I mentioned, there are some duplicates in this, but I did choose volumes 3 and 4 because this set has the least amount of duplicates. Volume 3 has 187 new palettes, 17 from the original Volume 1 in the first edition, and then 46 duplicates from Volume 2 of the first edition. And then Volume 4 has 219 new palettes, which is really fantastic. And then it's only got like 13 from Volume 1 of the first edition and then 18 from Volume 2 of the first edition. So if you don't want to buy the whole new second edition, that is cubes 1 through 4, but you want to get some more variety, I do recommend going for cubes 3 and 4. And then, so that gives you 406 new palettes between 3 and 4. And then there's like 94 old with 500 palettes in all. So 94 old is not that bad, especially when it's some of her most popular palettes to begin with. As I mentioned, this card might actually have been in the original, but I love it, so I'm going to use it either way. And then some of my other favorite things that she has come out with, and I don't know all the details, okay, about this because I'm not as tech savvy. I'm definitely somebody who I prefer to have the physical cards. But she is also doing some pretty cool stuff digitally. And she has her color companion, which is supposed to be an extremely fantastic tool for artists because you're going to be able to match your favorite colors in different media as well. And not just different media, but different brands. So if you have a color that you really, really like, and you want to use it, it's going to show you like what color is closest in Prismacolor. And if you have a color in Prismacolor, but you want to find something comparable in Polychromos, you can look that up too. That's one of my favorite things. So that's going to be the colorcompanion.com. They do have a free edition of that, and then there is also a paid version. But this is what it says on the inside of the belly band about that. Explore a digital world of color. Explore hundreds of colors, palettes, and art supplies. Find your matching supplies for any color or palette, save your favorites and curate your own collections, build printable swatch sheets and color converters, and then compare brands and build your digital art stash. So it's supposed to be a fantastic tool, and that's kind of its own thing. And then as far as digital options go, they do offer digital color cards. So if you don't want to buy the actual physical product and you want the color cards, you can buy the digital version of the cards, and she'll be adding cards as time goes on as well. So that might be a good feature for you if you don't have room in your studio, or if you don't want to just, pay for the shipping and all that and wait for it. So I will link a video about all that stuff below as well, and I'm hoping I got those details correct, but there's a lot. She's got a lot going on right now, and I just think it's amazing that she's always trying to find new tools to help artists. And it's just great. Now, overall, I am very, very happy with this product. I love the changes. I love that she has the categories. I love the fact that they're separated and easier to get to, and the box design is beautiful. I love the fact that they're wooden and they're strong, even though, like I said, I think the originals were pretty sturdy as well. Everything is beautiful and aesthetic, and I do think that this was the right choice for me, the volumes 3 and 4, especially since I'm going to still continue to use my originals. I didn't need to have the first two, which has a few more of the duplicates than this does. Since I plan on using mine anyways, and these look beautiful next to each other, even with the originals. Even though these are a new material, they don't look that different from the originals that they can't sit on the shelf together. So here is my little illustration, or my coloring book page. She's messy. And it's not exact color-wise because I was trying not to be picky. I did this after work. I was super tired, but this was a nice, great, relaxing way to wind down. And I didn't have to think too much because the card chose pretty much the colors for me. Okay, folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. I do have another video coming up next week where I am using some of these cards as inspiration. And so stay tuned for that because I'm going to be trying a new paper and using these as inspiration. It's good. I've already created the artwork for that. I'm really excited about it. So I will see you next week. You have a fantastic day. Bye.